It is my pleasure to introduce Terrence Thurk. Terrence is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. In his time here, he has been a regional core leader in Students Today, Leaders Forever, leading a group of more than 120 Badgers to serve in communities across America. Talk about the Wisconsin idea in action. Terrence has an incredible story to share, one that started in China and continues here in Madison. He shared part of his story with a great sense of humor and passion via a video submission. It's the first time a student keynote speaker was chosen via a video submission. After being presented to the class officers and commencement staff, Terrence was the winner, and it's easy to see why. Terrence, congratulations on your graduation and your selection as this morning's student speaker.
Friends, it is an honor and privilege to be here today. And I hope that my speech will keep you at the edge of your seats. I also hope that it means that you're leaning forward in interest and not trying to work up the nerve to leave. See, I was talking with my friends not too long ago about starting a new life, trying to remember things like, how do I make new friends? No, more like, how do I get past small talk to form real connections? Also, what the heck is love? Starting a new life is no doubt a demanding feat, but then I remembered something. This isn't my first time starting a new life, and although it's frightening every time, I've learned a couple of lessons along the way that I'd like to share with you all today. Growing up, my family fell into hard times and debt that made us all separate. My mom, my dad, and I all parted our separate ways. When I was just 4, my mom left to come to the United States. And when I was 9, I flew here alone to join her. I remember sitting on the plane, reading the safety manual like the engineer I would one day become. All of a sudden, 2 hefty American men sat to the left of me. I felt uneasy. What were Americans like? And feeling anxious, I dug deeper into my seat. The 2 Americans started talking in rapid-fire English, most of which I couldn't understand. And then something happened. The 2 Americans looked at each other and laughed out a hearty, ha ha ha. Whoa. They laugh just like I do. And that's when I looked up and saw the joy in the eyes of 2 friends. And at that moment, I had learned my very first lessons, that we as humans are all much more similar than we are different. Friends, do you know what the Chinese word for laughter is? It's ha-ha. And do you know what the Spanish word for laughter is? Ja. Just kidding. It's pronounced ha-ha. And if that's the one thing that you learned from my speech today, let it be to never go to the restaurant and pronounce fajitas. Because when the waiter looks up at the both of us, I'll probably pretend I sat at the wrong table. I bet you the word for laughter is the same in the 6,500 different languages and cultures we have in this entire world. And that is because we as humans are all deeply connected through our emotions. My second lesson came later. See, I grew up with my grandmother in Inner Mongolia, And she knew I would one day leave to come to the United States. So she decided that there were two things I needed to learn in order to fit in with Americans: how to swim and how to play the piano. Every day, she would walk me to those piano lessons. And because our family was too poor to afford a piano at home, my grandmother, having never seen a piano in most of her life, stayed up at night to make one. I remember seeing her laying out pieces of paper and one by one taping them together, and using the cover of a sketch of a keyboard on my piano notebook, she traced out a piano of her own. Peeking in through the door, I asked her, "Nai, what are you doing?" "Making you a paper piano so you can practice. Now, go to bed." I told this story to my friend Kai, and with tears streaming down my face, I asked him about his own childhood. And he told me something that he never told anybody else, that he grew up and went to military school. And in military school, how alone and isolated he felt from his peers. And now he wants to pursue a career in journalism to uncover other people's stories, because maybe in helping others, he could discover the meaning of his own life. We stayed up that night to offer each other support. And as I left that morning, I felt tired, vulnerable, bare, yet more connected to Kai than I had been in all of our years of friendship. And that, my friends, was my second lesson: to have the courage to share your story, to have the courage to be vulnerable, to be the real you in all of who you are, even the parts that you are not proud of. And you will find that other people will understand, because even though they may look different or act different or be from another place, they will have experiences that mirror your own. UW-Madison, class of December 2016. This commencement is a ceremony not for the end of things, but for the beginning of a brand new chapter in our lives. Which brings me to my third and final lesson. You can't plan for life, because you're never going to be able to anticipate everything. Sure, our families would like us to, and we'd feel safer. When I was a freshman here at the UW, my grandma would always call and ask me about just two things. Am I getting enough to eat? And are you remembering to bring toilet paper with you? And I explained to her so impatiently, Nai, nobody here does that. I mean, there's like seriously toilet paper in every bathroom. I mean, even if they're the rough kind. But of course, that's not what she meant. She was trying to connect with me, asking if I was okay, because she's seen enough in her own life to know that things can take some very difficult turns. I wanted nothing more than for her to be here with me today and see the results of all the hard work that we've accomplished. However, in my sophomore year, she passed away due to cancer. My dad told me stories of her in the hospital and how she would still tell everybody about the moments we had growing up. Friends, it's okay to not be able to plan for everything, because sometimes there are those lessons that are only taught to us through our difficult times that come unexpectedly. So when things get tough or challenging after graduation, know that each and every one of your struggles has meaning and will someday make sense to you and may even turn out to be the best of things later. Look at each and every one of us. Who plans to graduate in December? Yet here we all are, and we have all accomplished such great things, even if we had originally intended to be at Camp Randall in a perfect morning in May. These are the lessons that were taught to me, and I know that life will teach us all many more. Nai, this speech is for you. So thank you to all of our friends and family who are here with us today, both physically and in spirit. Congratulations to all of your great accomplishments. Friends, you deserve the best that this world has to offer. And as always, on Wisconsin!